Okay, we are going to go through our vocabulary for today. So our first one is going to be the word imprisoned. If someone is imprisoned, they are
put in jail.
They are put in jail. Our next word is going to be the word indignant. What's that word?
Indignant.
It is kind of a different word. It just means angry because of an unfair situation. If something is unfair and your emotion is to be angry, you can say you are indignant. Our next word is some of these words I hadn't really heard of before. This is the word sentries. And it's just people who guard an entrance or stand watch. So we don't necessarily have people who are guarding entries here where we are, but you got to think that this story is taking place in England. So the sentries are people who are guarding something, a guard. Our next word is startle. What's our word?
Startle.
If someone is startled, they are visibly scared. So if you're startled, you might be like, have that quick jump, startled by something. It's a sudden reaction. It's what's happening in the moment and really fast. We have surveyed. What's our word?
Survey.
Survey is just kind of taking that general look, looking around at something. If you survey your surroundings, you're taking a look around, you're seeing what's around you, making sure you know what's happening around you. And last but not least, we have the word wearily. What's our word?
Wearily.
It just means cautiously. If you do something in a weary way, you're very cautious. You're very cautious, and you're watching out for what's going on around you. Sound good? So when we left off, let's do a quick reminder of what happened when we left off in our read aloud last time. What happened? Haley.
So I'm not gonna Toad, he acted like he fainted on the ground. Then he threw in front of the car. He wanted to drive, so he started driving. They crashed the car, and then he found the police. And he found a hole, and it was like that.
Fabulous. So she quickly summarized those events. He pretended like he fainted on the road. They helped him. He wanted to drive. They let him. He crashed. He got away. He finds a hole. And who's in that hole?
Rat.
Rat. We have rat. One of the words we talked about last time was the word conceited. And conceited just means thinking a lot of yourself. You think you're awesome. You think you're amazing. You think you're the best thing possible. That's how you would feel if you're conceited. What are some examples of Toad acting conceited in our story? Brock.
Was he singing a song about how great he was?
Good. He's singing. You right. Remember, there's this whole song about how amazing he is. Haley.
He even said, "I am so conceited."
Yeah, there even got to a point where he said it, right? Good. Zoe.
He said that he's greater than the president of the United States.
Yep, greater than any king or president. Kyler.
He said he was greater than the people at Harvard.
Oxford. Very good, though. Another prestigious university. He's greater than all those people of Oxford. Good. They're greater than all of that came up in that song, right? Could we agree that Toad thinks highly of himself?
Yes.
Yes, he thinks he's pretty awesome, but we know that Toad gets in a lot of trouble, don't we?
Yes.
How did Toad end up in the water at the end of our story? Cooper, what did he do to end up in the water?
He crashed the motor.
He crashed it, right? And then he's getting away, and he runs into rat. So we have talked about a lot of literary tools, and we've gone into them. We've talked about them. We've given examples, but one of his perspective. Perspective is who we're seeing who we're seeing the events of the story through that day. Last time, the story was told through whose perspective? Toad's. It was what was happening to him, what was going on with him. It was through Toad's perspective. We also have talked about point of view, and we have first person point of view, where there's a lot of I or me or my or we, or there's third person where it's someone stepping back and telling you what's happening. Remember, we rewrote that piece in our writing notebook or in our activity notebook, and we had to change the princess to I, or not princess, it was the jailer's daughter. And instead of saying the jailer's daughter, we changed it to I, and we wrote it as if we were her. So that's going to be that point of view piece. So first person point of view and third person point of view. Another thing to think about is narration. And what is that narration? We've talked about it a lot through these stories. Viola. Who's telling the story? And I mentioned this last time, but we didn't get to it. We're going to revisit some revisit characters: rat, mole, badger, and toad. And I mentioned it last time, but I was a day ahead of myself. We're going to meet some new characters as well today. So be ready for those guys. You guys ready to read?
Yeah.
Fabulous.